everybody. I need to find another one that's not so damn long.
Yeah, I went and vacuumed.
Well, welcome everybody. Welcome to Helen, who came back, and Nathe, who didn't run screaming in fear from us. So he came back. And I've got his cards this time, so
Oh.
I'm ready.
Oh, yeah, I forgot to do those out.
That and I got a new. Actually, I got 5 new Oracle decks in the last week and a half.
Let me take a wild guess. You've been looking at Timu.
No, I didn't get it from Jimu. I'm in the
Okay.
Hay House Oracle Deck Club. So every 3 months, we get a box of cards before they're released. So I got 3 decks of
Oh,
cards that are pre-release. They don't come out to the end of March.
it's kind of like having an exclusive membership to a country club,
Yeah,
huh?
one is Animal Guides.
Oh, that's cool.
One is Secrets of the Ancestors.
Mm.
And the other one is The Golden Future.
Ooh, that looks beautiful.
They look interesting. And then I ran into another reader online from England, and I just really liked the way she was breaking things down. And she just released her Oracle deck like a week ago, and so I ordered it and I got it, and it's the Christ consciousness. And Nate, I thought of you when I saw this. I thought, oh, I'm gonna have to send him the link for that.
He's not going to brag, so I'll hold up his box here. He's too humble. This is the Mystical Tarot of the Saints. Yeah. Oh, twins.
We got the same one. And I didn't even realize until earlier one of the cards is the thing to scan to get meditations.
You can scan to get meditations.
Yeah. So I was like, oh, how cool. It's been sitting there and I never noticed.
I didn't notice that either. We're all... Because it probably comes with a book of instructions, and you know me, I never read the instructions.
My book. Yes, I need a magnifying glass to read the book.
It is a bit small. I know.
It's very small. But then I'm used to needing a magnifying glass.
Small but mighty.
To read everything. Oh, pardon me. I got a drippy nose today.
Ew.
It's just allergies. And I could feel it when it starts wanting to drip. And it's like, okay, wipe it now before it comes out.
Yeah, I bet you and Nate both have a lot of pollen this time of year. Different environments, but a lot of pollen. I know.
Well, we've been cold for the last couple of weeks. It's been like in the 40s, 30s at night, 40s in the day. So it's been kind of biting. And then yesterday the rains. Well, 2 days ago the rains hit, and it rained and rained and rained. Today it's up in the 70s.
Good Lord.
It's supposed to be closer to the 80s. So
good Lord.
Who knows? The weather's wild down here.
We got snow. I know. Well, yeah.
Don't say never. We occasionally get snow, like about a foot before it hits the ground. It's melted, and so it doesn't really stick. If anything stick, it's more like just sleet,
Hail. Yeah. Makes treacherous maneuvering outside. It's really annoying. Yeah.
That's very true. All right, I'm trying to say hello to people as they come in.
Oh,
thank y'all for coming and spending your afternoon with us. I was going to look up some topics for questions and just didn't happen. So if there's anything particular you want to read on or a question you have, say the word in chat. If y'all have any questions you want us to read on, just say the word.
You got one, Nate?
Well, there's something I wanted to bring up because I was made aware of this article. I should have shared it before, but maybe you have been aware, so I'm going to share it, what I've understood now. It is an article about a plan that basically the Republicans have in case Biden gets elected. and it is a bit intricate, but it involves no big surprise, Mike Johnson on the and basically finding ways not to validate the vote, basically kind of a repeat,
Yeah.
but it was very detailed. If you haven't seen this article, I'll share it. You know, I can put it later to you, but it's basically a plan that even if Trump doesn't win or Republicans don't win, there's basically an idea of how to proceed, and it's very detailed, very intricate. They had time to think about it.
Does it have a name?
That's what they tried to
No,
do last election.
yes, but I feel like they obviously had time to figure out the loopholes and whatnot. And from what I'm reading, like basically they could. This is a possibility that this plan could
Yeah.
work out. So that was quite interesting. Yes.
What did I tell you? I kept saying, accidentally misspeaking when I made videos, that Mike Johnson would refuse to certify the electors, and I kept having to correct myself because the vice president is the one who does it. Pence did it, and it would be Kamala Harris who would do it. But for some weird reason, I can't get the right terminology out of my.
They're trying to work for
Yes.
in run around Kamala.
He's a Trojan horse, and I've said that from the beginning. Yes.
I've read that. I've read several articles. I know they talk about it on Midas Touch. A couple of the lawyers there have talked about it. Glenn Kirshner and there's another regular one that comes on with them that has been talking about it for a while now. But I tell you, for the last 6-7 months, every time I go to read on it, I read that Johnson's not speaker when the election happens, that Jeffries is in. So somehow, every time I've read, and several other readers have had the same conclusion, that by the time we get to election, we're going to have a Democratic Speaker of the House.
Before the election.
Before the election.
How can that happen? The Republicans would elect a Democrat?
I think they're down now to what? A 2-seat majority?
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
They've lost several seats. And I think that there might be just enough moderates in there that are sick and tired of the nonsense that would maybe swing Jeffries' way, if they make a deal with the Democrats.
I'm not sure of the process. Is it just a simple majority, or is it two-thirds? It's not 2/3. It's a simple majority. Oh, that's promising.
That's how Kevin and Mike both got in. They both won it by no more.
Of course. Yeah. Yeah. Of course. Yeah.
Another scenario, Sherry, to build on that is, there could be issues with certain Congress people, such as Marjorie Taylor Greene or Gates, that might have to leave.
No.
So that could be a
that would do it.
Yeah, that I think there might be something there.
Now you're talking crazy now, Nate.
From what I've been hearing, they've already been trying to get Moses Mike out. They're not happy with him.
Send him to part the Red Sea, huh?
Yeah, they're not happy with him because he's been working deals with the Democrats. He talks real big, and then he gets in the room with Biden and the others, and it's whatever you want. He caves. So I'm beginning to wonder if the Democrats have kind of saved his bacon these last couple of weeks to keep him from getting kicked out. Because right now he's a good tool to use.
Yeah.
For their main accomplishment. For their
if they can win him over, or hold something over his head.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They got to learn to fight dirty. As much as I hate to say that, they got to learn to fight dirty. That and like I said, there may be just enough moderates, and I think right now at this point we would only need 3-4 moderates that would swing the other way.
I think they only have a 2-vote majority, if I'm not.
Yeah, so you would only need 3 votes.
Yeah, I'm beginning to
You're
doubt
very
everything I
good.
say about Congress. I seem to confuse myself every time I open my mouth. But yeah, should we
Yeah.
read on the speaker then?
Yeah, let's read on does Moses Mike make it till election as speaker? Let's start there. I'm sorry, but I have to use that nickname. It just I heard somebody use it and it just stuck.
Well, you know what somebody else calls him? Trump's little Johnson. I mean, just allegedly, I heard that somewhere.
That's fantastic. I have to remember that. Oh my goodness. That's hilarious.
Oh.
I use tarot cards so little I have to actually look them up now. Because I normally only use oracle cards. And when I do tarot cards, it's like, I don't remember what it means.
I'm always
So
horrified when I
already,
watch.
go.
Okay. Pardon?
You were horrified what?
When I'll sometimes watch my videos back, not always, but sometimes for the audio, I'm checking, and I'll hold a card up and I'll call it something entirely what it isn't. And I usually interpret the correct card, but the words come out of my mouth wrong and I have to correct myself later, and it's a whole thing,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh yeah. I've done that more times than I care to count.
Hmm.
So if either one of you are ready, go whenever you're ready.
Oh, let's make Nate go first.
Okay, Mr. Nate,
Actually,
you get to go first.
my reading was pretty clear. First card was the Ten of Swords, so not very good for him. Seven of Cups, an illusion card. I feel like there is something going on here. So basically, based on those 2 cards, I would say no, it would not be, the speaker by the time of the election. But the final card was very interesting, the Empress. So the Empress could be either an intervention of a woman. Somehow I was connecting with Kamala Harris or Russia, because this is also my card for Russia, which I don't understand how that all comes through. So I'm leaving it aside. But what I would say is that I would agree with those comments that I'm not seeing him in charge by the time of the election.
I read this morning that Russia has decided that its best strategy for the war in Ukraine is to interfere in American politics, and specifically the border issue. So, yeah.
Yeah.
I can believe that.
Shall I go?
Yes, ma'am. Go right
Okay.
ahead.
I got the reverse King of Pentacles. I always get the King of Pentacles for Trump, and I get this implying that he's displeased with Mike Johnson. I got the Five of Cups. That's not a good sign for him. Suffering, having to walk away. And Nate, just for you, I got the Knight of Swords, but it's a woman in this picture. And I think you're absolutely right. I think there's going to be some feminine energy anyway. Maybe this refers to the whole reproduction legislation trauma that's going on. I don't know.
Well, I started out with the 5 of chalices or the 5 of cups.
Oh, fancy
So,
that.
yeah. So yeah, I get this feeling that he's very longingly looking at what he wants to happen as opposed to what may happen. Because then I pull the Knight of Coins, and so immediately, and I can't even for the life of me remember what the hell the Knight of Coins stands for, but it immediately hit me of he's got a price, he could be bought off.
Oh, yeah.
And then it ends with the Star, and I see that as the Democrats come out ahead.
Well, there's a lot of pressure on him from his Republican bedfellows, but what they don't talk about enough in the media is this is part of an agenda that's been going on for a very long time, and that could be the Knight of Pentacles. This is part of a huge, plotting,
Oh yeah,
long-term debt. Yeah, yeah,
it's been 50, 60 years in the
yeah,
making. I mean, they started with filling in bottom of the rung, the ladder in states,
yeah,
get our
yeah.
guys in there. And slowly have just been moving up and up and up and up.
Infiltrating. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And
I think we all agree that things are not looking good for him.
no,
No.
I like I said, I really, the couple of times I've drawn cards on it, I see him as not here for the election, not speaker for the election. And I see Jeffries in. And I know several other people have read and got the same conclusions.
I think Jeffries is kind of the default, de facto alternative that everybody is focusing
But
on for sure.
he's not a radical or an extreme on the left. He's a very kind of centric liberal, kind of middle of the road leaning left. I think he would do good at kind of building coalitions because I see more Republicans having to leave the House. They're either going to up and quit because they can't take it anymore, or they're going to be slapped in handcuffs because they get arrested. Please, Spirit, please take Jim Jordan.
Well, there's a list. There's a gigantic list of people under indictment or under investigation or alleged crimes, or it's a gigantic
I have a
list.
feeling that we're going to lose quite a few of them once they start going after all the J6 stuff. And that's where we got to watch the Supreme Court, because they're now trying to interfere with the immunity crap.
Yes.
It's like, no, he wasn't president. What he did had nothing to do with being president.
What did you have an impression about it, Nate?
No, I heard we were talking about the Supreme Court, and I read today like the approval rating Americans for the Supreme Court is like 20-30%. I mean, it's ridiculously low.
Oh, they don't care. They've got a permanent position.
No, it doesn't matter to them. It's just like I feel for this number to be so low, it's just not a Democrat problem. I think no one's happy with them.
No.
And you know what else I heard? I heard that now I'm not good with the actual machinations of how the process works, but boiling it down, the Supreme Court does not have to address this under any particular timeline. So yes, it's gone to the Supreme Court. They're going to be looking at it. They're going to be coming up with a decision. They could take as long as they want. They don't even have to do it this time around.
They could take a couple of months and come back and say, we decided we're not going to.
Longer than that, they can take it into the next session. There's no law that puts a timeline, a time constraint on them. Like you have to have a speedy trial. That you have the right to a speedy trial. You don't have a right to a speedy Supreme Court decision. They can take however long they want, and they're in his pocket. Allegedly, they're going to buy time. Please take out Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Or as Arthur likes to call her, my tragic girlfriend. Arthur, ease your mind. I don't know if you've watched him.
Yes, I know.
He's hilarious. But he calls MGT my tragic girlfriend.
My tragic girlfriend. Oh my God. I usually call her General Marjorie because I picture her at the head of a Confederate battalion. The long game, huh?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. This has been a long, long game that's been going on. And boy, I would be dancing in the streets if I saw them arrest MTG and Jordan and some of the others and haul them off to jail. That would be cause for celebration in my book.
I don't know how you guys feel, but I feel like this is really on a knife's edge. It could go either way because although these things are self-evident to us because we actually have a moral compass, you've got people with an awful lot of vile intention who are working their best to make something else happen. And for example, Trump has taken over the Republican Party. There's nothing, there are no controls left. He's also taken over the Supreme Court, but he controls the House of Representatives. He controls many senators, and now he's decimated the Republican National people, the convention, the conference, what the C stands for. Yeah. His daughter-in-law is probably going to be co-chair of the Republican Party.
Yeah. Because
they want their hands on whatever money happens to be available, although rumor has it that they're very low in funds, the party. Very low in money. But he has control of all these facets, so every direction you turn for relief from their criminality, you're blocked by the ways in which they've thought ahead, and it is a plan, an agenda.
I was shuffling and out jumped the 4 chalices reversed. So we're looking at a lot of, I'm seeing them with a lot of grief and disappointment because I think what they want to happen, part of me is the Pollyanna in me. I want to see the world through rose-colored glasses and think that we're going to be like the Avengers and come in at the last minute and win the war. But there's another part of me that's really, really scared.
Well, we thought Robert Mueller
to Portugal next year.
Yeah. We thought Robert Mueller was going to save us, and then we thought Jack Smith was going to save us, and it just it's going to be all about voting, and I forget the statistics, the actual numbers, but a huge chunk of people did not vote. Like 100 million people didn't vote, roughly, and a lot of people voted a protest vote for a third party. And I'm going to shout this from the rooftops: if you do not vote for Biden, so if you stay home, if you vote a third party, you have helped to elect Trump.
For sure.
Well, you've helped to destroy democracy and put in a dictatorship.
And you'll never get rid of him. This country will be completely changed. They want a theocracy. They want to replace the and I'm not making this up because this sounds nuts. They want to replace the Constitution with the Bible. They want Old Testament justice, so we're looking at a kind of American Taliban, Sharia law, right? They want to do public executions for blasphemy, and I'm in trouble. They want to do public executions for homosexuality. They want to do public executions for adultery, which is really rich when you consider what they've been up to, right? I mean, think about that. Yeah.
The head of household voting.
Yeah. Oh, God. So only white men with property.
Clarence Thomas wants to do away with interracial marriage.
Yes.
I'm like, okay, dude, you're black and you married a white woman, but you want to make it illegal for interracial marriage. It's like, okay, explain that.
The other part that you mentioned, Helen, of being controlled by Trump or Republicans, let's not forget the Postal Service of the USPS with the joy where this has never been fixed.
It's never been fixed, and our mail service is abysmal. As a result, you can tell how it's negatively affected. If it weren't for the fact that the actual physical person who comes to the door and delivers the mail is a decent human being, because I have gotten help that way, kind of around the public system, because it's impossible to call a human being and get help when things go wrong. Now they've gotten to where here's an example. I have. My daughters with grandchildren are in another large city, And I send them things through Amazon, right? And they always get them. I mean, somehow or other, I have the address right in Amazon. But apparently, they moved at one point. They did move at one point just to a different neighborhood, and their zip code changed. And apparently, I forgot to remove the old zip code, but I did put in the new zip code. And every once in a while, I'll mail a letter or I'll send my grandchildren a card for, like I sent them Valentine's. They came back because I accidentally put the wrong zip code on.
Yeah.
And in the old days, the post office would have just caught that, changed it, and sent it ahead.
Yeah.
Not anymore.
Just like, it used to be first class mail. I'm in Louisiana. I could have sent Helen a card or a letter on Tuesday and she would get it on Wednesday.
Yeah, yeah.
And now you're lucky if you get it the following Tuesday.
10 days, yeah, 10
You know,
days. Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
7 to 10 days.
Yeah.
And that
Yeah,
will
another-
still pay out with the mailing ballots. This has never been done.
Yes, that's right.
the last two elections we had here, because I do mail-in ballot,
Hmm.
and both of them didn't even get counted until months after the election. And I'm like, okay, there's something wrong with that,
How do you find out if your ballot's been counted?
Well, they have a thing on our website, and I hope it stays on our state government website, where you can track your ballot when it arrives, when it's read, when it's marked.
Oh, I'm sure they have that
Or
here,
not.
but that would require actually going on the computer. So I'll just hope. I want to ask Nate something here. I have a personal question to ask you, Nate. Is that gin and tonic you got there? Last week I thought it looked like
a shot today.
I know, it looked like limoncello. Limoncello from Italy.
It looks like a cocktail, but it's not a cocktail. It's just
Oh,
a
sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a homemade lemonade.
I bet you actually picked the lemons.
No, I actually
No.
made is I pour from the bottle and did my own thing.
Oh, okay. We all have this image of where you're living is like the Garden of Eden,
That's true.
Yeah,
Well, I
yeah.
picked up my oracle cards just to shuffle them, and this
Uh-huh.
popped out. It says poised, and when I looked it up, it said being ready, bringing something to light, being at your best, holding confidence. So even the oracle cards are telling me, we got to be on it, people. I mean,
Yeah, we have to not.
if you
I
can take
hear.
a day off and be a poll watcher, or just be someone to help people vote at the polls, do it.
It's just as
Because-
important to be aware and have the intention of the good outcome that you want.
Yes.
It's painful for a lot of people to pay attention to politics because it's so disturbing. I hear that a lot. My kids, why are you so obsessed, Mom? This is not healthy. Well, somebody has to pay attention. And I don't stay up at night. I'm not, I'm not freaking out like that. I would stop doing it if it were unhealthy. But somebody has to stay on top of it. Not that I'm doing anything, but it's generating that positive intention, being aware of the bad thing and wanting the good thing it has an effect. I believe that has an effect. I don't know. Do you think? Yeah?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I don't know. I don't get a lot of positive reinforcement around.
You're not talking to the right people.
I know. My neighbors all think I'm insane,
You just got to pick up the phone and call me and say, all right, Sherry, why not? No, I mean, we've, it's if you have a car and you're able to offer your neighbors a ride or a family member a ride to the polls, go bring them there so they can go vote. Go back and pick them up when they're done. Bring them home. Bring another carload when you go back. I mean, there's a lot of little things we can do to try to circumvent a lot of what the crap that they're trying to pull. Like, you can't pass out water for people standing in line for 8 hours. Well, for starters, you shouldn't have to stand in line for 8 hours to vote. It should take you all of 15 minutes
It's insane.
to park your car, walk inside, fill out a form, and go back out, go home.
But you have mail-in ballots.
I do because I'm handicapped.
Oh, well, I live where Pacific Northwest, it's a blue bastion. Always teetering on the edge, always people challenging it on a state basis. But for the moment, we just go to the mailbox and do our ballot by mail. It's very easy.
That's how I felt, Book. The last place I lived, the mailman that delivered there, because he knew that I was handicapped and had difficulty walking. And if there was like a large chunk of mail, he'd come drop it at the door. Tap
So
on the door.
wonderful. Yeah.
The one we have here at the new place, he will just shove things in until he can't shove in anymore. You go to get your mail and it's all wadded up into a ball, and it's like, okay, that's kind of defeating the point here. But
I want to ask Nate something. What's the attitude? What's the gossip in where you're living about America? What are they thinking? Are they fearful of what's going to unfold here?
That's a good question. I think in Europe, I would say that the general mood or feeling when you watch the news, they clearly talk about, the risk with Trump being president, particularly lately with the comments about NATO and, like security of Europe. I think that's very clear. I have to say as well, which is a little bit of a shock to me, is there also quite a bit of, what's the word, like comments about Biden's age and the fact that he makes all these mistakes and confusion and all that, which I don't like to see because I don't feel like it's a fair representation. Yes, the facts are true, like there's been moments of confusion, but they don't talk about the good things he did. There's very rare moments about that. So I feel like there's a certain bias. It's almost like they oppose the two candidates.
You must be psychic. I saw a thing last night, which was an interview with a guy from Yale. He had just retired from Yale. He was one of the psychologists, actually, who signed off on that book, The Trouble with Trump. Dr. Lee was the head doctor, and she got all these other psychiatrists, therapists
I saw an interview
to evaluate, right? So he said something very, very interesting, and I think people need to really think about this. He said, there's no such thing as getting older and not mixing up your words, and it's a function of age, and it's normal aging. So you go to name somebody and you say the wrong name, or you misspeak a little bit of the wrong word. So that's different from what Trump is doing. Biden has normal signs of aging appropriate for his age, not signs of decline, just it comes along with age. Also, he looks stiffer. He moves more slowly. And the doctor said, listen, that guy is still riding a bike when he gets the opportunity. Yes, he's got the normal stiffness of age. That happens to everybody, and it doesn't affect your ability to think. So keep in mind, he has his wits about him, and he's surrounded by really competent advisors. He said, most doctors that he's spoken to won't comment publicly because they're afraid of the pushback in their careers. Yeah. But he said, if you go to a doctor with your granny and you want to find out, is she in the early stages of dementia, they don't do special tests. They just have a conversation and they observe. They just watch her interact with other people. There are tests and there are MRIs, but they can come up with a pretty conclusive early diagnosis. They can give you specifics, physiological specifics later, but they can come up with a really early diagnosis just watching you interact with people. So he talked to a bunch of these professionals who watched Trump's most recent speeches, and they said, okay, this guy 100% has dementia and he's getting worse. He's got two things going on: mental health issues, but he's also got a decline, a cognitive decline. And he's got a thing called phonemic paraphasia. And so what that is you open your mouth to say Christmas, but you say Christmas.
Yeah.
And he does that all the time. And he doesn't realize when he misspeaks. He said compare Trump and compare Biden. Biden will do what everybody's grandfather does. He'll be talking about something, he'll make his point, and he'll kind of wander off. And he said that's not a sign of incapacity. That's just, that's older. It does not make him inappropriate for office. But you've got a guy with Trump that's saying outrageous things, not confusing people, not confusing words, confusing people. So he was consistently over multiple days accusing Nancy Pelosi of being in charge of the security in January 6th. This is a perfect example.
Oh, then he switched to Haley.
Nikki Haley.
Pardon?
Then he switched to blaming Haley.
And in both cases, he was wrong, And so this doctor said, I'm not worried anymore. I'm retired, and I'm just going to say what I'm going to say. I asked a friend of mine the other day, a psychiatrist, why he wouldn't speak up anymore. And he said, because my job was threatened. They brought me in and told me I had to shut up about Trump or I'd lose my position.
Yeah.
Complicity. People are complicit, and if he wins, it's only going to get worse.
Yeah. Oh yeah. What was it? It's gone now.
Yeah. Maybe we better have you evaluated.
I'm having a senior moment. It's gone. But my mother got dementia. She had cerebral dementia.
Yeah.
They call her brain was literally
shrinking. Yeah.
And it would be like on Mondays she could blow her nose. Tuesdays she couldn't do it. She didn't have the motor skills to do.
It's so hard to watch that kind of decline. Yeah.
And it's over a 10-year period of watching her slowly devolve into an infant-like state, just about. And I see the same symptoms in Trump. And it's to me, it's so glaringly obvious.
Yeah.
And I don't see how other people don't see it.
Yeah.
And it's truly frightening, because people who do see it are afraid to do or say anything about it.
That's right. Because of the threats, because the guy is just, not only is he declining cognitively, allegedly mentally ill, apparently, and that desire for revenge that he's constantly. So should we read cards on this situation?
Let's read cards on that. I just want to make sure I didn't miss anything.
Do we have a good question?
No, I haven't seen any questions. A lot of statements, but
I think people are getting really worried. Yeah. So what could we ask about this cognitive decline? Well, is that what it is? Yeah.
It is.
It seems so obvious. I don't need cards.
Voters
notice.
Start noticing the obvious.
Yeah, will it have an effect on the outcome of the election? Yeah.
People start waking up to it and going, "Oh crap, this man's crazy."
I love the cards I got.
Well,
go for it, Helen.
I'm gonna go. Can I go for it?
Yeah.
Okay. I got the King of Pentacles. I sound like a broken record at this point. I always get the King of Pentacles for Trump, and the Chariot. Whatever's happening, is coming down hard. It is really becoming apparent to people. The Six of Pentacles reversed. I think the donors are getting really, really, really worried. Ace of Pentacles. It's going to boil down to money before it boils down to votes. There's talk already going on about the insanity. So I don't know if it's going to come down to votes. It may come down. What did we read about the convention, Nate? Do you remember? You know, maybe this explains why we were getting those cards on the convention. Yeah, yeah. The people with the money are really starting to get nervous.
Yep.
Yeah.
Did you get the same thing? Don't tell me if it's bad.
Well, I think the meaning is pretty much the same. First card, the Ace of Sword. The Ace of Sword is the idea of sharpness, really, and so it's not going to look sharp, right? This is going to be a challenge here. I found the next card interesting in your comment, in connection with your comment about money. Three of Pentacles. You see how in this card, it's like you're hoping the money comes to you, but you're not quite there yet. You think it's there, but it's not.
Yeah.
So there's an issue with money. But interestingly, going back to the question, will it be noticed? The Tower. So to me, clearly, it's a yes. And what I could foresee, kind of going deep into this one, it could be going back to the convention. That is very, very obvious. For example, during his speech at the convention, or something very dramatic happens in a live speech, for example, at the convention, that shows like a real problem. The next card was the Two of Cups, equivalent to your lovers. And I
Yeah.
think it has to deal with either relationships or even the vote themselves. I am feeling very strong about this Tower. I think maybe it's not just going to be seen, it's just going to explode,
Yeah.
maybe on live TV.
Yeah. He's going to be considered not a good investment anymore. They're going to
I think he's
weigh.
already. That's my two of chalices. I think
There you
But
go.
that's,
Same
they're
thing.
already
Same
weighing
thing.
their options, and I also pulled the Eight of Staffs. Um,
Oh.
I think there are those that are like, okay, y'all need to get on board.
And so many incidents of him screwing
yeah,
up.
It's getting to the point where I actually watched some clips from Fox News the other day, and I was shocked at the amount of negative things that several of their pundits were saying about Trump.
Really?
It really surprised me, and they weren't like the ones that normally speak against them. They've got their little handful of, you know, liberals that they trot out, but
Do
there's
they?
some other.
I didn't know that. They do, huh?
Well, they say they're liberal. They're not really. They're more like play the devil's advocate,
Oh,
argue the
yeah.
other side.
Yeah.
Um, but the few clips I saw, this was kind of like from some of the ones that have strongly supported Trump in the past that are now starting to say there's something wrong here. He's talking about doing this and he's doing that, and we need to maybe think this through. And I'm surprised they haven't been fired for it.
yeah.
But the last thing I pulled was the King of Swords. So
Huh.
we got to fight. We got to fight on our hands. We've. I'm going to do a show with another one of our readers next month, I think, where we're going to literally make a list of like 10 or 15 things that Biden and Harris have accomplished
Oh,
since they took
good.
office.
Yeah.
That easy, simple things that people can memorize when they get in a discussion and they start hearing that, well, he hasn't done anything for me. And Trump was the only one that helped me. You can literally stand there and start ticking off your fingers. Well, he did this, they did that, they passed this, they got this for you. It's I think it's not until you make people actually have to stop and think about it that they start realizing, well, actually, I guess
happen.
Biden has done a lot for me, you know.
So are we talking about a convention where some kind of behind the scenes decision, a quick decision is made to not go with Trump? Or does he screw things up so badly after he's been chosen and he's making his acceptance speech that they rescind it? Can they do that? I mean, how do you see it unfolding?
That's a good question. I hadn't really thought about that.
Let's ask the cards.
Let's ask the cards. Yeah.
Nate's
Bring
got
on the
something
cards.
up his sleeve. What are you going to say, Nate?
No, I think it's a great question because I think we've came to the conclusion that there would be a problem by the convention. We don't know exactly the
Yeah,
intricacies of all that. It's
yeah,
just, oh, let's keep digging.
yeah.
Yeah, because
Okay.
each party makes their own rules. I mean, of how, you know, they've when whoever they pick for a convention.
I just had a horrible thought. I don't know why this didn't occur to me. By the time they have the convention, his daughter-in-law is going to be in charge.
Of course.
Yeah.
I've been thinking, I've been focusing on the control of the money
No,
more
the convention
than
too.
more the end result. I'm slow, Nate. It took me a while. It just dawned on me. Oh my God, she's been put into
That is
position.
real concern, and I think that's the whole purpose of why she's put into. Here is what I feel like she is being put into the role because he can already see that there's going to be a resistance at the convention, and he needs to be tight.
Yeah.
How much
He
power
also
will
needs the
she
money.
have to get rid of
I
him? Well,
mean,
let's look at the results of this.
Yeah.
how are we phrasing this?
Well, WTF. uh, let's presume that there's going to be an issue. So are we going to see a convention that chooses somebody else? And is there a hint? That's a complicated question, but you know what I'm getting at. Yeah.
Or what the question is, what would be the element of surprise at the convention?
Oh God, that's a good one. That's a really good one.
Whenever you're ready, if anybody's ready.
Not really.
I'm ready. Four of Cups reversed, Page of Swords reversed. We're talking about they finally get to the point where enough is enough. He said enough. He's been crazy enough. He's made enough errors that the people behind the money want him out. Get him out of here. You know, have him back off, leave the scene. They're really worried. They're conferring because they don't think that there's any hope that he could overturn Biden. And they're now coming to the conclusion that if they don't get rid of him, they won't be able to win the election. And it's all about the crazy he says and his plans for the future. It's all too much. It's gone over the top. They're okay with right-wing fascism, but now he's becoming uncontrollable.
Yeah, I pulled the Four of Chalices. So
Same, yeah.
yeah, again, looking at that apathy, just it's like, well, okay, that's who they got us going for. That's who we're going for. Yeah, followed by the moon, which again, you know, the moon will illuminate, but it's selective on what it chooses to
Right.
illuminate. It's not like being out in the bright sunshine where everything shows. this can be very selective as far as what gets brought to the surface for us to see.
Hmm.
And so I think having his daughter-in-law in there is one of the one of the filters
Like
that take it
protection for
out.
him. Yeah.
Yeah. But I ended with a Hierophant. So,
Oh,
there could be pushback from those that are wanting to remain traditional.
yeah.
That's not
Yeah.
how we run our party.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't hold my breath on it. Saying, what you got, Nate?
First card is the Nine of Wands, so a lot of fighting and pressure. I think they will be going in with um, not a consensus exactly on the
Yeah.
convention itself.
Yeah.
Even who's going to speak, when, the themes. I feel like it's just
A mess.
not just the convention, it's getting to the convention. The preparation probably starting now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So there's already a problem now. Now, Ten of Pentacles, Queen of Pentacles, there's definitely a sense of the donors, the money, and that's always come up that there seems to be a problem with people who donate money with the convention, and that is creating a clash. I got the Emperor and the Magician. To me, that tells me like there's someone new is coming. So the Magician here talks about a new leader. So if I had to summarize, is they're already not on the same page. It's probably obvious that they're not on the same page. It's probably obvious why Laura Trump will be put in there. It might not be enough, and it really boils down to the donors.
And they're running out of money because the donors are, they get a lot of money from small people. $5 here, $5 there. It's kind of remarkable. And of course, don't forget golden tennis shoes.
That's how he gets all the black people to vote for him.
Oh, that's why black people love Donald Trump,
He
right?
sells them gold
That's
Nike
so
shoes.
racist. Oh my God. It's
When I
unbelievable.
literally heard him say that on a clip that Midas Touch played, I went, he did not really just say that.
It is.
Like, oh my God.
You have to laugh, not because you agree or you think it's funny, but because it's
To the
it's
Republican Black
incredulous.
Caucus. The group of
Yeah.
individuals in the Republican Black Caucus. Because he said he started out talking about, wow, I don't see any white people here.
Oh God. Oh my God.
I thought, yeah, dude, you're not in the white caucus, you're in the black caucus. I was shocked. I really was. I was like, I can't believe he just said that. Um,
You watch more of him than I do. I can't. I
I
find
catch little tidbits from like Midas Touch. Book mentioned it earlier. I forgot to mention them. Pod
Dave
Save
Packman
America.
often shows little clips.
Dave
Yeah.
Packman shows stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, where is it? Book had something. Yeah, Pod Save America had Elizabeth Warren on, who compared black versus
Oh,
white
okay, good.
people.
Thank you. Okay. Oh,
So I'm
good.
gonna have to look for that, and I'll have to post a link.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I get their podcast. Um, and
Good for the Democrats for doing that. They need to really
Yeah.
come forward and
Gavin
really,
Newsom, Gavin
oh,
Newsom is a godsend right now.
my hero. I know.
I
I
don't
know.
care what topic they try to hit him with. He twists it around and starts presenting everything Biden and Harris have done and how good it is.
Yeah, he's very quick-witted. He and Pete Buttigieg, they just both are really able to think
Linda
quickly on their
calls
feet.
him delicious. First time I heard her say that, I like to die. I was laughing so hard. That kind of fits. And his husband just came out recently to respond to something ugly the Republicans had said about Pete.
Oh, it's never ending.
And his husband, I mean, normally they ignore it,
Yeah.
but whatever it was that was said, and I didn't catch that part, but I caught part of his husband responding, and he was like furious about it.
Yeah. It's
Like,
ugly.
that's a bridge too far.
It's ugly. Yeah.
And yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm gonna go look for that clip, that
The
interview
podcast. Yeah.
posted.
Yeah.
And oh, well, that's cool, Care Bear. She's learning how to read tarot from a political aspect. Awesome. Well, honey, anytime you're ready to come online, say the word and I'll put you on.
Trust your gut. Listen
Yeah.
to your gut. Yeah.
Go with what you feel. I mean, I sit here and look them up because I don't use tarot enough to remember them. I mainly use oracle cards. So I start pulling tarot and it's like, what was that one again?
Yeah. It helps to trigger,
Yeah.
what you intuitively know. Yeah. Yeah. Did you read your cards, Nate?
Did I?
Yeah. I'm having a senior moment. Did you? About the convention and.
Oh, I have different decks with me,
Oh.
and I switched to a different one.
Oh, okay.
Okay, yeah.
I've been sticking with my Republican cards. Let's do something nice so I can use the good cards that I don't want to taint.
Well, I did Nate's cards were the only ones I took out because it was like, I'm going to use them today.
Well, they can use all the grace that they can get, so somebody needs to.
Well, see, that's what I figured. Okay, these are like blessed because
Yeah.
got all this Christian iconery.
Yes.
Icons. Yeah.
Iconographic picture. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know what the hell I'm talking about. And so I feel like maybe it'll protect me.
Maybe it'll rub off on them
There you
energetically. That'd be good,
go. I
huh?
staged them. I put them out.
I know. Okay, so
every time I do political readings, I always take my cards outside and sage them again.
run them through the washer with some bleach. Do we have a question? Did I miss?
We've not gotten any questions.
Oh, okay.
We've really just been getting statements and people agreeing with us.
People are fired up, and I think people know where they stand. Oh, I have a question.
Here we go.
So yesterday I watched a podcast, a YouTube channel that I don't watch a whole lot because it's long and slow. And the guy who does it is Russian. It's called Inside Russia. And he's living in one of those satellite republics, I don't know, Kazakhstan or Turkmenistan, I can't remember. But he speaks English. His first language is Russian. And he is an opposition to what's going on there now. And he was able... Pardon me?
They haven't hunted him down yet.
Well, yeah. He had to flee. That's why he's doing what he's doing. And he was receiving through the computer cell phone video and hidden video of Navalny's funeral because the Russian government was not allowing anybody to watch it. Yeah. It was astounding. A lot of it was just still photographs because they had to do it quickly and hide their phones. There were thousands of people in long lines, block after block, around and around, and it was almost all women because the men are afraid to go out. They'll get conscripted, right? So very brave, lots of older women, very, very brave, and they showed at one point a big gigantic armored truck like a stretch limo Humvee type thing full of soldiers, and aerial view somebody got from a building of a long line of heavily armored soldiers marching. So there was huge preparation to oppose these people. And he even said, I am so astounded that people are brave enough to go into this crowd. This is really a scary situation. They didn't want people in the church. They didn't want people at the graveyard. And people were there for hours and hours in line to be able to go past his grave or past his coffin. And it was very sad because, well, for many reasons, but the point that really got to me, his wife and children weren't there. They couldn't be. They couldn't, And his closest companions, the people that he worked with in activism and opposition, his parents were there. His parents are quite elderly, and I guess they would have been there no matter what kind of situation. But it moved me to tears, and it takes quite a bit to get to that point. It was chilling to the bone. And we were supposed to be reading something cheerful. but in a way,
Something cheerful. Book put up the link.
Oh, good.
That
Thank
interview
you.
on Pod Save America.
Thank you.
So after the show, I'll go add it to the description box as well, and it'll be in the chat. Y'all can pull it up. So I saved that for y'all. So what were we gonna read?
Maybe read on Navalny and his effect on Russia going forward. It seems like he's had a gigantic impact the Russians don't want us to know about,
I think his wife is going to be a very strong leader.
Oh, and that was the other thing I was going to tell you. In this YouTube channel, he had to stop showing stuff because the Russian government shut down the internet in Russia in the middle of the funeral.
Yeah.
No communication out of Russia.
Yep.
So they're afraid.
As horrified as we get at that thought here, think about it. What's happening to us if we get a dictator back in the White House?
I don't want to think about it.
How long do you think you're going to keep your internet to be able to express yourself?
Charlie Cook. Go ahead.
Was it you that was sharing the story about the Canadian farmer and family who were so upset because people were flying pride flags and stuff?
Yeah, I know who you mean. Yeah.
So they up and decided to sell their beet farm and move to Russia. And they were barely there. They have most of their money frozen in their bank accounts. They can't access their money now. And they got there, and the wife got pissed off about something and went online and complained about it. And like within a couple of days, she had to go pull it and do an apology thing because they threatened to put him in jail.
Yeah.
It's like, you're not Kansas anymore, dude.
Charlie Kirk, who is like Turning Point USA, it's a campus movement, right? He came out on a podcast, and I heard his own words. I heard him say this. I'm paraphrasing. People who toy with the devil, who interact with demons, astrologers, tarot card readers, psychics, they should be executed. And if we take over in November, that's exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah. All of us who've been doing this, all of us who do speak out in any way, shape, or form.
Let's face it, Sherry, what are they going to say about you and about me if we end up in the gulag and go the way of Navalny? Who's going to say, isn't it a pity they died so young? Nobody.
Those gray-haired old biddies. That's a good one.
Okay.
Oh my God.
So we're reading on Navalny's effect moving forward. We're
just full of stuff today. He said you'd think with examples like the way the funeral was handled for Navalny, that would be a wake-up call for.
Yes.
They like that. They want that. I've spoken to people that I am very close to who've said what we need is a strong leader who can control the people. That's their goal.
Yes, because I desire to be controlled.
Oh, wow. Sorry. Talking to myself.
Go ahead, Helen.
Okay, so 8 of Swords. All that happened to him. Because Page of Coins, the things that he offered to the community of the Russian people. He was forced into prison. forced, out of society. He came to a tragic end. But guess what? The wheel of fortune is going to turn. And the sun is going to come out for the Russian people. That's why I said, oh, wow.
Yeah. I feel the Three of Swords. There's a lot of pain going on right now.
Yeah.
A lot of pain.
It's
Followed by the
literally
Two
the
of Swords.
funeral card. Yeah, it's the funeral card.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. This is the funeral card. You're right. This is pierced through the heart.
Yeah.
You're done.
Yeah.
Then I pull the Two of Swords. That means that the Russian people have got to make some real soul-searching decisions. But I ended with the King of Staffs. So this gives me hope that
Yeah.
they're going to be able to kind of pull out of this.
Take action. Yeah.
And yeah. Because I mean, we have several students that were from Russia. They wound up having to go to other countries to get to our country to go to school. That if you can even get them to talk about their government in their country,
Terrified.
it's a terrifying conversation they're having. You can palpably see their unease and looking to make sure nobody can hear them talk.
Yeah.
Oh, it's incredible.
And I mean, I know one girl was like that. I said, "It's only you and me, darling. Nobody hears what you says." She says, "Yeah, that's what we thought too."
Oh, God.
And I was like, and it just kind of hit me. It was like, everybody's got a phone. There's cameras everywhere. There's laptops, tablets, iPhones. I mean, there was a TV show that ran for like 5 years. Person of Interest that had to do with the guy had figured out an algorithm of how to know who was next to be killed or something like that. And he went rogue and hired another guy to come work with him. And their job was to figure out who was going to be the victim or the victimizer and interrupt and either stop them or protect them, depending on what it was. It was a really interesting show. And at the time it came out, it was so far-fetched. I mean, I remember people saying that could never happen because it would talk about cameras around the city could zone in and zoom in and find you anywhere you went, and that kind of stuff. And now it's like that's exactly what's,
Yeah.
it was like, I don't know who the writers were for that show, but boy, were they were seeing future
Yep.
stuff. They really
I'm
were.
dying to hear what Nate got. What did you get, Nate?
Yes, what you got, Nate?
Very similar. Seven of Swords, to me, this is the Russian government or activist, Putin, whatever you want to put it there. Sneaky person, kind of like. But really, when I look at the outcome of this Two of Staffs, which is really preparing a plan, I think this is already a plan to move things forward. The resistance is the word that I'm hearing.
Yes.
There's a resistance. Strength is coming through as well. And like you, Helen, I got the Wheel of Fortune. And so actually, this is even better than what I expected.
Yeah. Well, I was surprised. Yeah.
The resistance is already
Yes.
in motion.
So his life and death have been an example. He actually literally martyred himself as an example and a role model and inspiration and strengthening the resistance. And every time they do something like not return his body forever or make it difficult to attend a funeral or shut down the internet, all that's doing is giving the people more resolve.
Yes.
More and more resolve.
Yeah.
Oh, my heart just goes out to them. Read Solzhenitsyn, read the Gulag Archipelago, read those books, and
Yeah, because most of these people are just normal, everyday people like you and me. They get up in the morning, they go to work, they want to take care of their family, feed their kids. They have no desire or ill will to hurt anyone else.
Well, this guy who does Inside Russia, the channel, he was crying.
Yeah.
trying to, he kept stopping and saying, I'm sorry, I can't even talk, but
Yeah, it's
really awful.
it's. I mean, I stop and think about it, and just it's like, wow. I mean,
Do we have a Navalny?
do we?
I'm just
Uh,
throwing that out there. In this country, is there anybody, that would be a Navalny? Anybody who would be the voice of
willing to,
reason? Yeah.
or would be willing to sacrifice themselves for the whole. That
Well, I hate to
would
say this.
that be necessary? But
This sticks in my craw, okay? And you'll know why here in a second. But I think Liz Cheney and Adam Kinzinger both are as close as it comes. And it's
Yeah.
hard to say that because they are so conservative. And under normal circumstances, I would revile them, but they've shown their starch.
They did.
Yeah.
But who was the most vocal under the Trump one? Who was the voice of the resistance?
Adam Schiff.
yeah, Adam
Yeah.
Schiff. I'm surprised they haven't figured out a way to get rid of him.
They tried. They've tried.
Yeah.
They've tried several times,
Yeah.
but they haven't been able to do it yet. Adam Schiff, Elizabeth Warren,
Liz
Friends.
Liz
another
Cheney.
Yes.
Liz Cheney.
Liz Cheney,
Uh,
Pelosi.
Pardon?
Nancy Pelosi.
Nancy Pelosi. And what's the name of the guy? He's still in Congress. He's a Democrat. I just love him. Young guy.
Swalwell.
Yes. You read my mind. Eric Swalwell. Yes.
That's
remarkable. Eric Swalwell.
Eric Swalwell.
Yeah.
And there's the newer guy. I think he's from Florida.
I think I think I know who you mean. I don't remember.
Or something like that.
Yeah.
It's an M and it's
Yeah.
Murkowski or something like that.
And then people like Glenn Kirshner.
Jasmine Crockett.
Oh, I love her.
This woman, she is hands down. I just like, go girl. Go.
Plus, she's funny. I don't think she even intends to be funny, but she's just inherently hilarious. She goes right to the heart of every issue. It's just great. Great stuff.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. She's pinpoints. Boom. Boy, she hits them good. And the way she puts it and says it, it's just freaking hilarious.
Oh, and there's Jamie Raskin.
Yeah.
That poor man. I did his book.
Sheldon Whitehouse.
Oh, yes.
Another good one.
Yes. He looks straight out of central casting, for a senator, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Sheldon Whitehouse. Do you know who he is, Nate?
It doesn't ring a bell.
Oh, you have to go on YouTube and just Google him on YouTube because he does so many presentations. His big thing is dark money, and he's made it his life's work to reveal where this dark money is. But he looks like a senator. That's all I'll say. It's just
he just fits. It's like if you were casting a movie and needed a statesman, that's who you would.
That would be.
Yeah. And he is everything that would imply. I mean, he's the embodiment of the image that you would think of when you see him. And then the universe has a sense of humor. Tell me it doesn't. His name is Whitehouse. I mean, come on.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's just great.
Yeah.
Well, Sherry, I hate to do this, but I have to leave at 12:30.
Okay. Well, then
okay, just putting you on warning.
15 minutes. So let's come up with a last question. We can
a zinger of a question. Yes. What can we do?
That's a zinger that we can throw on.
Anyone watching who can think of something great.
In another month. We'll get together in another month.
Okay, that sounds good to me.
And,
trying to think of a good question. How many couples from Love is Blind will remain together? Just kidding. Do you know what I'm talking about, Nate?
No.
Oh, it's a terrible, stupid TV show, which actually now has international versions where people are they kind of date each other sight unseen. They're hidden, but they hear their voice, and they pick who they're going to marry after like a week of talk. It's hilarious. Then they get together and they're like, "Oops, this was a mistake." It's an interesting study in psychology. Let's put it that way. Human interaction.
Oh, Linda brought up we have Katie Porter too. Yes, God, how can I forget her?
Oh, Katie Porter.
She's awesome.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love her. She's going to end up in Washington. Like, I know she's in Washington, but I mean, upper level. Yeah.
She was trained by the best. Elizabeth Warren was her teacher and her mentor.
Yeah.
And she was in school, so.
I didn't know that. This is makes a lot of sense now, Sherry. Thank you for that. Yeah.
Yeah, she was trained by Elizabeth.
Did you see the video of Katie Porter in her driveway with the trunk of her car full of bags of rice? She was preaching at the CEOs about some awful, economic thing that they were up to, no good, but she was doing show and tell, kind of making it obvious with bags of rice in the trunk of
She has a way of doing visuals.
Yes.
That really just brings the point home.
She's a teacher. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Very much so.
Well, why don't we ask the cards? Her future in politics in general.
Yeah.
Okay. And I don't really mean the senatorial race. I mean just farther. Yeah.
What's coming down the road for her?
Yeah. I'm so glad somebody mentioned her.
That was Linda Bishop.
Oh, Linda.
Yeah. Go whenever you're ready.
You go.
Okay, I'll go. The first card is the Eight of Staffs. So to me, she's on an acceleration of her career. She has the momentum for her. The Page of Coins, the money here to me ties to her understanding of the economics. I think that will be her special ability. The Star tells me that she can go as far as she could, technically. So those cards tell me that, yes, I see her moving into an important role. Could be a cabinet position, something like that.
Yes.
The economy. There's something else that pops up, which is the Ten of Swords. And so I was a little bit puzzled by this one. I feel that the way that the card came through, she could also become a target in any way.
Oh,
yeah, absolutely.
In any way. And people looking for anything they can throw at her. I feel like if we were talking to her today, we would say, which she probably knows, like she will be under more scrutiny. She will be yes.
I need protection.
A cabinet position related to the economy and
like Secretary of Commerce, Secretary of what is it, Treasury, something like that.
Treasury
Secretary. Or labor, or
Yeah, I don't know because I don't know money. Yeah.
Well, I pulled the Seven of Swords reversed. So we're looking at strategies. She's very strategic in the way that she approaches things. And she's very good in how she lays it out. So that's, even though it came up reversed, it's still a plus for her because it's showing that she's a very strategic thinker. And then I pulled the six of chalices. So I see her celebrating a little bit. She's moving on up to the west side, to the deluxe apartment in the sky, so to speak. So she's I see good things for her. And then it ends with the nine of coins. And that's
which is a good one.
success.
Yeah.
That's high success. So
And also
yeah,
the money that the
it's
economy.
also
Yeah.
coins, it's also money, just like Nathe was saying. Yeah.
Well, looky here. I got the six of chalices as well. But I got it in the context of the, is it the knight or the king? The king of swords and the king of coins. And I think what's going on here is she's moving, God, she's moving us away from the past and into truth telling. And she's about financial issues, Nate, like you got the page, or was it the knight of coins?
I got the
She's
nine of coins.
a Joan of Arc figure,
Yeah.
you know, for the truth. She's putting to rest a lot of the nonsense, bad ideas, bad policies, and she is going to have a lot of support, backing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that she's moving forward. She will be a star of the Democratic Party.
Oh, literally.
Absolutely.
Yeah, literally. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's encouraging.
Yes.
It sure is.
Somebody normal. I got a new, I don't do very many oracles. I got this new pack of oracle cards, the Enchanted Art. I haven't even looked at it. Can I draw an oracle card in parting?
Yeah.
Okay,
Let's
why
go.
not? Let's see what we
I'll
got
draw
here.
one too.
No idea what I'm going to get here. Oh, this is very good. I love this. This is for us specifically. It's okay to have a voice and speak your truth. There. And isn't that a great picture? I love that.
yeah.
I love that. Okay. Oh,
And
well,
I
that's
drew
good.
new life.
Ah,
We're all moving into a new life.
And I got grace when this point.
such an optimistic note to end on, isn't it? That's really good. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank y'all so much for coming and hanging out with me.
Sure.
I'm so honored.
So much fun.
Can't wait to have you come back. And
Let's.
absolutely, thank y'all for coming in the chat, and hanging out.
Thank you to
spending the
everybody.
afternoon with us.
Yeah.
And y'all have a great weekend. I
Thank you,
will,
Sherry. I really appreciate the invitation. Yeah.
you're
Likewise.
welcome. I love y'all's energy. I love hanging out with you. So,
Thank you.
Nate, I'm still getting to know, but I just adore him. And
Oh, thank you.
I love
Likewise.
I've loved
Oh,
him for years. I've
we
watched
put
him.
up with it.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Well, y'all have a great afternoon. Enjoy the rest of your
Yeah.
weekend. And
Thank you, everybody.
gargle again.
Yes.
Oh,
I stay growly, but it's really bad when my allergies act up.
it's awful.
So, thanks
Yeah.
for tolerating me. And I will see y'all tomorrow. I'll be back on tomorrow. So
You're going horse.
I'm doing a mystery show with Amy. And,
Oh, fun.
we're looking at a cold case.
Oh,
A double homicide cold case from the 70s.
Oh, goody.
We're gonna read them.
That'll be interesting.
I thought that'll be fun. So,
On that happy note. Okay, bye, everybody. Thank you.
bye, y'all.
you.